Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello everyone, I'm Karis. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, August 18th through Saturday, August 24th, 2024. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. The enchanting night sky this week is bringing us what's called a seasonal blue moon. When we have 4 full moons within one season, this is called a blue moon that we have coming up, meaning the blue full moon. Mercury, the planet of communication, the messenger, is making an inferior conjunction. This is when the planet Mercury passes between the Sun and the Earth on August 19th. On August 20th, we have the waning gibbous moon, very close to Saturn and passing, blocking out Saturn. In astrology, this is called an occult. So the moon this week occults the planet Saturn. On August 21st, we have the moon reaching its perigee. That is when the moon is closest to the Earth in her elliptical orbit around the Earth. The 7 original planets, the OGs that you can see without aid of telescope or binoculars, are lined up as such this week. We start off the week with the Sun in its domicile, its home sign of Leo, where it is strongest and most powerful. This week, though, we have the solar ingress into the sign of Virgo, when the Sun will enter mutable Earth, cool, dry Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Leo. Venus is in her fall in the sign of Virgo. Mars is in Gemini. Jupiter is in its detriment in the sign of Gemini. And Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. The week starts off on Sunday with the moon in fixed air Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, as we are approaching the exact moment of the seasonal full blue moon. Sunday, the Sun's Day, August 18th, is one of the most profound days of something coming into your awareness that has been there all along, yet you didn't see it yet. We've got the Sun in Leo making a conjunction to Mercury, the mind, in the sign of Leo. It's like this. Have you ever had a friend or known someone where everybody can see so clearly what they're doing, what's going on in their life, yet they don't see it yet? And no matter how many times you try to perhaps help them, advise them, point it out to them, do you not see that this is going on? No matter how many times we may try to bring something into the awareness of another person that we love, that we care about, whatever the situation may be, they just don't see it yet. It's not in their awareness. Well, with this day, August 18th, as we are approaching the exact moment of the full moon, this Sun conjunct Mercury is when, I finally see it. It's been hiding in plain sight. It's been there all along. And once something comes into our consciousness, into our awareness, because the Sun is one of the luminaries, it's the light, it's the soul consciousness of seeing something. When the Sun is shining its light, its spotlight on something, it finally comes into the conscious mind and we see it. So this is how we are starting off the week, with this Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in Leo. Something returning again to say, do you get the lesson? Do you see it clearly yet? It's connected to love, because Leo rules over the heart. What it is that you truly love, it has to do with self-esteem and self-worth, because the sign of Leo is the sign of originality, your sense of who and what you are, self-esteem as an individual. So somewhere in your life, you finally get it. You finally see it. And when something does come into the light, when something that's been there all along, but we never saw this yet, when that awareness happens, everything in our life transforms and everything in our life changes. Because once we see something, once we are aware of something, we can't then go back and pretend that we didn't see it. The light, the sun, is now shining on it in our conscious awareness. Depending on where this Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo takes place in your personal astrology chart, which is based on your birthday time and place, this will give you some major clues as to where the awareness, the consciousness, takes place. If you have the Sun-Mercury conjunction transiting through the first house, then this is a greater awareness of you, your brand, how you come off, your style, your image, your fashion, your presentation. First impressions do matter, and so the Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo can finally bring into the awareness of how you are presenting yourself. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the second house of personal finance is the awareness of not only how you are handling and spending and saving your money, but also the second house are the talents and abilities that you were born with, the value you have, the knack you have for something. You may not have thought about this before, and then it comes into your awareness where you realize, gee, I really do have the talent for such and such. I really do have the knack for whatever it may be. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the third house is the daily tasks that we do. Every day there's a certain amount of busy work. Driving the kids to school, the shopping, the going to the dry cleaners, just the daily routine is the third house. The third house is also the everyday mind and attitude. It could finally come into your awareness, the Sun-Mercury conjunction, of how you are wearing yourself thin with so many things to do on a daily basis, that when you finally see the way it's affecting your vitality, all of the busy work constantly, but also because the third house is the mind, it can come into your awareness if you keep yourself busy as a way of a distraction from what's really bothering you. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the fourth house is the foundation of your family, where you live, the location of where you really want to live, what's going on with the family of birth. This is a Sun-Mercury conjunction through the fourth. The fifth house is your children, the things that you create, your originality as an artist, and life is a form of art. Living is an art form. Also, Venus is in its joy in the fifth house. So the fifth house has to do with play, enjoyment, the pleasure of life, having fun, laughter. It could come into your awareness with the Sun-Mercury conjunction that you're just too serious. You don't laugh every day. You're not enjoying your life. Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo through the sixth house. These are all of the things that are supposed to work for you to make your life run much more smoothly. So things like cars and computers and employees, if you have them, taking care of our health, of course, because the 6th house is also the house of ill health. So whatever you may be doing that it hasn't come into your awareness yet of how your life isn't running as smoothly as it could be, then this is the Sun-Mercury conjunction through the 6th house. The 7th house is the marriage, the partnership. Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo, the sign of love in the heart, is the awareness of what's really going on in the marriage partnership, the toll it's taking on you, perhaps, to stay in a relationship where the love is not there, where you don't really want to be in the relationship, and everyone else can see what this is taking a toll on you as far as being in a marriage, a relationship that you need to become aware of. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the 8th house is the merged money, the taxes, the debt, the credit card debt, how we invest. In other words, how we make our money grow over time. As far as what we invest in or not, is the Sun-Mercury conjunction through the 8th house. The 9th house is how the mind wants to expand, going back to university, travel, the values and principles that you live by. What is your philosophy? The 9th house is the religion. It's the higher, what's it all about part of the brain. It's very philosophical. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the 10th is the career, social standing, what you feel is your calling as your highest potential, meaning what you want to create and give back as a legacy, how you want to be remembered, and what you feel is your highest potential. Sun-Mercury through the 11th are the friends that you keep, people that are like-minded or not. 11th house are your wishes and hopes for the future and the people that you want to take along with you in the future. Sun-Mercury conjunction through the 12th house is the house of undoing. The Sun-Mercury conjunction in the 12th house can be the awareness that you finally have of where and how you sabotage all great things trying to come into your life. So a wonderful opportunity presents itself to you, and somehow, without your awareness, you sabotage it. The universe is always conspiring to give you what you truly want, your desire. And these things present themselves to us, these opportunities, in other words. But if you sabotage them as they are trying to come into your life and stay in your life, the Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo can finally be that awareness of, gee, this is how and why I sabotage all the good that is trying to come to me and in your life. And again, once we're aware of it, once we see it, once it's in the sun consciousness of the brain, we cannot go back and then pretend, oh, that's not in my awareness now. It's there, whether we like it or not. This is a true story that happened several months ago, and it's about the Sun-Mercury conjunction in the 12th house. One of my clients, that's been a client for years, always asks about love. Of course, he's a Libra ruled by Venus, but he always asks about love and finding love. And he has a very specific type that he likes. And so he was going on a trip to Miami, and I predicted in the reading that the type of lady he likes and is attracted to, he will meet on this trip to Miami. Well, on the flight home, Dream Girl sits right next to him on the plane. The seat right next to him. There's only 2 seats, and she's in one of them. And this is a nice long 5-hour-ish flight from Miami back to Los Angeles. The universe delivered, as it always does. The opportunity sat right next to him. What does he do? Does he say, "Hello, my name is such and such. May I call you? I'd like to invite you out to lunch or breakfast sometime"? Does he take that opportunity, Sun-Mercury conjunction in the 12th house, where we sabotage and potentially ruin all the good things coming into our life? No, he's too shy to speak up and say anything. The opportunity presented itself to him, and that's the Sun-Mercury conjunction in the 12th house, where perhaps finally the person will see, this is where and how I sabotage myself. But we don't see it until we see it. If you have this Sun-Mercury conjunction in Leo transiting through your 12th house, again, it's the light, the awareness of how, where, and why we sabotage beautiful things that, one, you want and desire, and that are always trying to be delivered to you. Monday, August 19th, we have the full moon at 27 degrees Aquarius. Now, this full moon is tied into a T-square involving the planet Uranus in fixed signs of the zodiac. Full moon in fixed air Aquarius, the sun in fixed fire Leo, and the T-square, or the planet Uranus, in fixed earth Taurus. The full moon in fixed air Aquarius is in the third division, the third decanate, which brings in a Libra influence flavor component to this full moon. The full moon is connected to the planet Uranus in Taurus, which is also ruled by Venus. Venus, the transiting planet Venus, is in the fall sign of Virgo. So what's happening with this full moon is a very surprising, unexpected, shocking ending of a relationship in your life that you assumed, believed would last forever. These are fixed signs of the zodiac, the Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus, that keep things going as long as possible. They correspond to the fixed months of the year where the weather, the temperature is fixed, set. This ending of a relationship can come through a death. It can happen through someone having a change of mind and heart. There are many different reasons. Someone moves away, perhaps. There are many different life reasons why certain relationships end in our life. Now, what I find as a professional astrologer is that when people, clients, are shocked and how dare they kind of feel as far as why someone needs to change and or has a change of mind and heart. As if the things in our life, the people in our life, should always just stay the same. Have you ever heard a parent say, and of course they don't mean it, that they wish that their baby could stay a baby forever? They don't want the baby to grow up. They love being a parent, and they, kind of wistfully say, oh, gee, I wish they could stay a baby forever. So when we project onto life and other people that they don't have the right to change, they shouldn't change. Well, this full moon in Aquarius, which is very much about freedom. Aquarius is the sign of independence, and things have to move, or the air, the very air we breathe, gets stale and starts to suffocate us. So this full moon in Aquarius is the full moon of relationships ending, because it is time. It's that season for people, for whatever reason, have to move on. So if you feel hurt, outraged, shocked, this should and couldn't be happening to me, that things in a relationship came to a close, that the relationship has now changed, transformed, then one of the things you can do with this full moon in Aquarius, because the full moon is a mirror, it reflects back to us, one, the true self-image we have of ourselves, but it also reflects to us with fixed air Aquarius of how and why not only do you not want a person to change and grow, which means perhaps they leave, but also where your mind is set. What is the attitude? Because remember, Aquarius is fixed air. It's fixed. So where you want a person to always stay the same. And if they don't, and I can assure you, they won't. What is the true nature of a human being? People are changeable, irrational, unpredictable. We kind of never really know what they're going to do. They change like life, the seasons, like the astrology, all of the time. Aquarius is the sign that says you've got to hold on loosely. You've got to let that person be free to think, free to communicate what they want, just free. Now, Aquarius is also the sign of friendship. And I can't tell you how many relationships and marriages one person in the marriage will be outraged and trying to control or inhibit the freedom because the partner has friends. Aquarius is friendship. They want to hang out with their friends. They want to socialize with friends and family. That kind of control, I can assure you, is not going to work long term. This full moon in Aquarius is not only relationships abruptly ending, perhaps in a shocking way, because the person, and it might be you, because the person has finally had it with the control issues. Most importantly, in the area of controlling or you feeling controlled by how other people or the other person doesn't want you to have friends and a social life. If you've had it in a controlling relationship and perhaps you've tried to warn that other person, discuss it with the other person, meaning your partner, I've got to have more space, I've got to have more freedom, or this doesn't work for me, but they weren't listening, they weren't going with it. It's been a long time coming because we're looking at fixed signs of the zodiac where the other person has finally said enough is enough. And this is the thing about Aquarius. Aquarius can make a very sudden and abrupt about face. They do a complete 180 in a very unexpected way that we thought they were going along on a certain path. And then one day, they're just gone. They're free. They've had enough. In a very full moon tied into a T-square with the planet Uranus kind of way. They tried to discuss. They tried to warn the situation. And then they're just gone. They've had it. Or one day, they're done. And that is it. And they're not going to turn back. Now, all of the air signs have a certain cool component to them. It's light, it's air, it's cool. It's not the element of fire. Aquarius is the sign that is connected to the dead of winter, the coldest time of the year, end of January and into February. In other words, ice. So if an Aquarius decides to ice you out, they've grown cold. That is a cold that, again, is very sudden, abrupt, unexpected, and then they're done. So this is the full moon component that we're having at the ending, almost ending degree, 27 degree of Aquarius. It's over and there's no turning back. You must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. What a gift to be able to give that to someone. Be free, be yourself. I'm not trying to control you in any way. What a gift it is if someone gives that to you, meaning they like you the way you are. They don't want you to change. You don't change for me. Just be yourself. That's a very high level of love that this full moon in Aquarius is putting the spotlight. And look at the day before on the Sunday with that Mercury conjunct the Sun in Leo, the light, the consciousness. Something that you just didn't see is finally in your awareness, and you've had enough. It's over. Tuesday, August 20th, the moon is now in immutable water Pisces. The moon in Pisces makes a conjunction to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, a square to Jupiter in its detriment of Gemini, and in opposition to Venus in her fall in Virgo. This is a very tricky aspected day. Pay attention to all of the little details. Also be very careful about not signing on the dotted line and not giving your word about something. Whatever is taking place on this day, it will not remain firm. These aspects involving the mutables, it's like the energy is someone or something is trying to wheedle away its out of a situation and or a deal. So again, pay very close attention. Wednesday, August 21st, the fertility abounds. And we've got the moon in Pisces still making an opposition to Venus in Virgo, square to Mars in Gemini, and in conjunct to Mercury retrograde in Leo, a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. The Sun in Leo makes an inconjunct to Neptune in Pisces. Then the moon in Pisces makes a conjunction to Neptune in Pisces. Moon in Pisces makes an inconjunct to the Sun in Leo. All of this is the movement of water, the flow of emotion, which represents fertility and abundance. One of the things about this day is if you're looking to have a child, to have another child to add to the family, this is the flow of water, fertility, abundance, and the ability to bring more abundance into your life. Later on in the afternoon, the moon changes signs and goes into cardinal fire Aries, first sign of the zodiac. The moon in Aries makes a sextile aspect to Pluto in air, fixed air, Aquarius. So this desire to start something new, to get something going, Moon in Aries is getting all excited and enthusiastic and fired up about the new prospects ahead. Now, when we are right after the full moon that we just had, and we are in waning gibbous, this phase of the moon is about what have we learned? What is the information that came to us, the awareness, the consciousness at the moment of the full moon in Aquarius? After that moment, the moon in Aries on this day, on the 21st, is saying, yeah, let's get something started. You're all excited about something new, whatever and wherever this is taking place in your personal astrology chart. But all of this water leading up to the moon going into the sign of Aries is the excitement about bringing greater abundance and fertility into your life. Thursday, August 22nd, we now have the solar ingress into mutable Earth, Virgo, ruled by Mercury. As we reflect back on the past month, with having had the Sun in fixed fire Leo season, the summertime of life, where there's great power and energy and expression, the lesson over the past Leo season having to do with your sense of self-worth, the heart, self-esteem, your sense of originality, needing and wanting to get connected to the truth of who and what you are and express the truth of who and what you are. Leo is strong. It's the will. It's the heart. It's the spine. It's the back. So as the sun moves into mutable earth, Virgo, we also think about and take in the consciousness of the sun having just traveled through Leo, and the greater awareness and energy and power that you have with your sense of self and self-worth. With the sun moving into the solar ingress into the sign of mutable earth, Virgo, this corresponds to harvest time, when we stand back and take stock of the seeds that we have planted and what has grown, what have we released. Virgo purifies. Virgo removes what is false, what is fake, what has become perhaps toxic and poisonous to us in our life. When you look at the symbol of the sign of Virgo, we see the maiden at harvest time separating the wheat from the chaff. So this greater awareness as we go into the solar ingress into the sign of Virgo is what is really of value to you and healthy to your life, your loved ones. What is the work? Because Virgo loves the work and is devoted to it, if nothing else. What is the work that you truly love and want to do because you love it? What has become poisonous and toxic, and it is now time to say goodbye. So the solar ingress into Virgo, ruled by Mercury, is very scientific. It's very practical. It's standing back and making decisions on the clear facts, not just based on emotion and sentimentality. If things aren't good for you, and that is fact, this is the solar ingress into Virgo. Whether we like it or not, or whether we don't, it's not decisions and clearing things away in your life based on sentimentality and emotion. It's more of, this is the science. These are the facts. So Virgo in the solar ingress into Virgo corresponds to the time of year when we've taken the action, we've done the work, and now it's time to make an assessment in your life of what is it that you have produced over the past year so far. Right after the solar ingress into the sign of Virgo, then we have Venus in Virgo, her fall placement, making a square aspect to Mars in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. This again is an evaluation, an assessment of how you value the relationship you have with yourself, first of all, and how you value and are valued in all of the relationships that you are in. The astrology and the full moon this week is really putting a highlight, a spotlight on how the relationships, all of the relationships in our life, how they have an influence and effect on every aspect of your life. It's not just the primary marriage relationship, but when you think, or if you stop and contemplate and think about the people in your life that are there where we either elevate each other and help each other out and support each other, or if you've ever been in a bad relationship where it seems as though one toxic relationship can do so much damage and become poisonous. This is the reflection, along with the full moon that we just had for the astrology this week, which is, what have we harvested in the relationships in our life, for good or for negative? This is the overall theme or spotlight, we could say, during this very impactful full moon in Aquarius. Friday, Venus's day, August 23rd, we have the moon moving into her exaltation placement in fixed earth Taurus, ruled by Venus. The desire for love, the desire to connect is so strong when the moon is in her exaltation. The moon in Taurus makes an earth trine flow to the sun, now in mutable earth, Virgo. The two lights, the two luminaries, the sun and the moon, the inner and the outer, the masculine and the feminine, are in harmony. They're working together and saying, yes, I want and need, and are connected to love. Also, the sun-moon trine is, how would you for yourself, if you were to define what is a great relationship, what is a relationship that works for you? These are the earth elements. Moon exalted in Taurus, the sun in mutable earth, Virgo. Earth loves not only to do the work and what works for you. These elements, when we look in the moon, the element of earth is the earth of peace, calm. What relationships and or relationship brings you peace of mind? And so defining not only a great relationship and what is a relationship that works for you, because it's unique. Each unique individual has a different definition of how they define a great relationship and a relationship that brings them peace. There is no judgment. It's more about what works for you. And the sun and the moon working together in the element of earth is the harmony and the connection of you knowing. This is the kind of relationship, however you define it, that would bring you peace of mind and what would bring the other person peace as well. As you probably know and have experienced, sometimes we can love somebody so much, but it's just not a compatible relationship that brings peace. Can we work on a relationship? Of course. All of the different relationships in our life at times are not easy. Life has ups and downs. But overall, when that feeling, when that cosmic superpower is an energy of this relationship overall, brings me calm and peace. This is Friday, Venus's day, with the sun and moon in the element of earth, bringing calm and peace, what works for you, and how you define a great relationship. Nature is always balancing things out. It's a series of checks and balances. Some relationships we have to let go of. We learn the lesson, we bless it, we release it. And then some relationships come into our life. And yes, there are relationships that bring love, peace, and harmony. The sun moon in the earth element is also about patience. I think it's fair to say that one of the most challenging things that we learn in relationship is to be patient. So, with the sun moon trine, how patient are you in a relationship? Also, how much do you think that you require the other person to have patience with you? With the earth element, this is something to know and reflect on. Saturday, Saturn's day, we still have the moon exalted in the sign of Taurus, making a sextile aspect of opportunity to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. The moon sextile Saturn is the opportunity, if we're willing, to put in the work, and the moon exalted in Taurus certainly is. They love their work. If nothing else, the moon sextile Saturn in the sign of Pisces is the opportunity to do the work that manifests and brings into reality Saturn, your vision, your dream, what the truth is in your heart of hearts as far as how you visualize and dream the life that you certainly want to live. And of course, it is possible. In astrology, there is no dream that is impossible. It's the power of the cosmos that you have, that you are born with. So if your heart is in your dream, you're willing to do the work, You're willing to moon exalted in Taurus, sextile Saturn in Pisces, meaning to get real about it and what it's going to take, then there is no dream that you can't make happen, not only in your imagination, the Saturn in Pisces, but in the reality of the world you live in. Thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous week. Pay attention to the relationships in your life, and I will see you all in the stars.